Namaskar and welcome to the program. We start as always with Thought of the Day. Gautama Buddha has said, "Teach this triple truth to all, a generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things which renew humanity." जीवन का शायद सबसे बड़ा सुख है किसी और को जीवन दान देना. And that is exactly what our guest today has been doing. We are delighted to have on our program today Dr. Subroto Das, who is the founder of Lifeline Foundation. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me here. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you here. You're doing so much for people who lose their lives on highways. Tell me a little bit about this Lifeline Foundation.
It's a non-profit which we started off in 2002. Where my wife and I co-founded it with a couple of friends. We had an accident in '99, a real life-threatening accident, and left to die on the highway, one of the busiest highways that India has, connecting Bombay to Delhi. And just 21 kilometers from home, Baroda, where we live, at 1:30 at night on a rainy August night, '99. And it's after 5.5 hours that we finally got help. Cell phones had just come in. Mr. Bajpayee was just constructing his golden quadrilateral, so we had 2-lane highways. And having survived that accident, time in the hospital is when Sushmita, my wife, made the statement, "We were lucky to be alive. Let's ensure others don't die on the highways." And that's what got us going. And we realized India needs a helpline number. When you go abroad, you have these helpline numbers. You take those things for granted, and India had none. And because we wanted to do this, we needed an organization which is non-profit, and that's how Lifeline was created in 2002, 3 years after we had this accident. And Lifeline's aim and vision was to make sure that people don't die on the highways, and it still does the same thing.
And in India, lakhs of people do die on the highways, don't they?
Yes, lakhs of them. And if you ask me, 2015 statistics of the Ministry of Road Transport says 1.46 lakh people died of road traffic accidents, urban as well as rural and highways. But yeah, lots of, and there are 5 lakh accidents happening every year.
Yeah, and those are all avoidable, isn't it?
Most of them are, because most of them are driver faults. 70% of Indian accidents are driver faults. So yes, obviously.
और जब आपको बचाया गया तो शायद एक दूध वाले ने बचाया था.
हाँ, 4.5 घंटे बाद हमने बहुत कोशिश की कि किसी गाड़ी को रोके, किसी ट्रक बस जो जा रही है, बट अंधेरे में, बरसात है, सबको डर लगता है हाईवे पे. कोई नौटंकी करेगा, नाटक कर रहा है लूटने के लिए, वो तो कोई रुका नहीं. फाइनली एक दूध वाला अर्ली मॉर्निंग उसने ट्राई किया कि वो बस या किसी कार को रोके. उससे जब हुआ नहीं तो अपने बाइक को उसने सड़क के बीच में रख दिया. सो द नेक्स्ट बस हैड टू स्टॉप. I mean, imagine वो बाइक उसके लिए it's his lifeline, I would say, because the milk that his cattle produce goes to the dairy, and he takes it on the bike, and he risked that to stop the next bus. Unfortunate part ये है कि हमने ना तो उसका नाम लिया, ना phone number, and आज भी हम regret करते हैं कि wish we had taken his name and phone number. We could have thanked him.
But they always say that when somebody does something good for you, you should pass it forward, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Yes, that's what we're doing. I wouldn't say really that we are doing, we were fortunate that we started addressing an issue that nobody had, and it's surprising that nobody had done that before that. Yeah. And as we started working, we realized there are lots of people like us who are doing it in small pockets. Yeah. Again, we were fortunate that we came across some great bureaucrats. We came across some good corporate leaders who understood the significance of it and gave us the funding, the support we required to put this up. So all our good work, Sushmita and I could take credit for a lot of things. Lifeline could take a lot of credit, but it's a support, back-end support we have received from across the country. That's what has made us change a bit of India.
ज़्यादातर लोगों के साथ ये होता है कि अगर एक्सीडेंट हो गया है या कुछ इस तरह की लाइफ चेंजिंग एक एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है तो उस वक्त तो एक रिजॉल्व होता है, बट देन दैट टेंड्स टू पीटर आउट. You after 3 years did persist with it, didn't you?
एक जिद आ गया कि ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि इंडिया में एक हेल्पलाइन नहीं हो सकता. I mean, it was like every time we heard an accident, we came across people, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि there exists no one in India who has not had to go through the pain, physical or emotional, of losing a close associate, a co-worker, a family member because of an accident. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि लोग मरते हैं, people lose limbs, फिर भी कुछ नहीं होता. वो एक जिद आ गया and we gave up our careers and put it कि ये तो करके छोड़ना है. I mean, it was that sort of a जिद.
कि अब जो भी हो
ये तो करना ही है. India needs a helpline number.
And your wife was really the one who pushed you, didn't
Yes, I mean, as I always tell people, it's great to have an adamant wife, and Sushmita is very adamant. नहीं, see, पहला reaction ये था जहाँ accident हुआ है, वहाँ एक ambulance हम donate कर दें हमारे पैसे से. सुष्मिता का कहना ये था, और अभी भी ये कहना है कि कुछ भी बनाए तो sustainable होना चाहिए. चाहे हम रहें या नहीं, that thing should go on. She believes in sustainability. And operational as well as financial. हमने किसी को एम्बुलेंस डोनेट कर दिया, वो एम्बुलेंस चला पाएगा कि नहीं, उसके पास कहाँ से खर्चा होगा, और कितने एम्बुलेंस डोनेट करें. सो शी सेड नहीं, लेट्स क्रिएट समथिंग दैट्स सस्टेनेबल. सो दैट इज वेयर द जिद और द एडमेंसी केम इन.
अच्छा, अब लाइफलाइन जो है वो 20 मिनट के अंदर अंदर, विच इज एक्चुअली विद इन द गोल्डन आवर, आपको हेल्प पहुंचाती है.
Yes, not always 20 minutes, क्योंकि डिस्टेंस पे, ट्रैफिक पे डिपेंड करता है. बट because we work on 4 lanes, हम 2 lane highways पे काम नहीं करते हैं. I mean, लोग मर रहे हैं वहाँ, ऐसा नहीं है कि हम नहीं जा सकते हैं, पहुँच सकते हैं, फंड्स हैं, रिसोर्सेज हैं, बट 2 lane highways पे ट्रैफिक जाम हो जाता है. तो चाहे कितना भी अच्छा एम्बुलेंस हो, किसी ने आपको कॉल किया है, आप बोल रहे हो कि एम्बुलेंस पहुँचेगा, वो एम्बुलेंस पहुँचता नहीं है ट्रैफिक जाम के लिए. सो वी आर स्टिल ऑन 4 lane highways एंड नॉट नेसेसरली 20 मिनट, टाइम्स कभी कभी ज़्यादा भी लग जाता है ट्रैफिक जाम पे. येस, 20 मिनट यूजुअली पहुंच जाते हैं, बट देयर हैव बीन, आई वोंट से कि एवरी केस इज अंडर 20 मिनट्स. नो.
और इस तरह का जो नेटवर्क है, हाउ मेनी एम्बुलेंसेस डू यू हैव फॉर एग्जांपल?
व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड ऑफ, वी डिडंट ओन अ सिंगल एम्बुलेंस. द आइडिया अगेन वाज व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग कि क्या करें, लोगों से एम्बुलेंस डोनेशन लें, उसको चलाएंगे, ड्राइवर रखना पड़ेगा, पैरामेडिक रखना पड़ेगा. तभी एक आइडिया आया दोस्तों के साथ बात करते हुए कि क्यों ना हम एक नेटवर्क खड़ा करें जहाँ एक भी एम्बुलेंस हमारा ना हो, किसी हॉस्पिटल का, किसी चर्च का, किसी टेंपल का, चाहे किसी के मस्जिद का, किसी का भी एम्बुलेंस हो, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, उनका फायर ब्रिगेड सर्विसेज का, इंडस्ट्रीज़ का जो हाईवेज़ पे है, उनके एम्बुलेंस को नेटवर्क करें, उनके चेयरमैन एमडीज़ को कन्विंस करें कि आपके गेट के बाहर अगर कोई एक्सीडेंट होता है, यू कांट लेट दैट पर्सन डाई सेइंग ये एम्बुलेंस में बाहर नहीं भेज सकता. सो बिटवीन अहमदाबाद एंड सूरत, हम बड़ौदा में रहते हैं, विच इज़ नियरली सेंटर, 17 एम्बुलेंस के नेटवर्क से हमने शुरू किया था. उसके बाद हमने फिर क्रेन्स ऐड किया, हमने फायर फाइटर्स ऐड किए, मेटल कटर्स, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग फंस जाते हैं, तो इंडस्ट्रीज़ के पास गए, फायर सर्विस के पास गए, इनको निकालोगे कैसे. सो दैट्स हाउ वी क्रिएटेड दिस एंटायर नेटवर्क.
What were the kind of problems that you faced when you wanted to set up this foundation?
The first thing was, it's an accident, it's a police issue.
Yeah.
How can you go and save an accident victim? That's a common refrain that we started getting from a lot of people, even government people. And they used to say no. So we approached the highway builders in Gujarat. That's where we started off. And they would say, no, please go to the health department. You go to the health department, नहीं, ये हम तो सिर्फ प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी हेल्थ केयर में है, ये तो टर्शरी केयर हेल्थ है, ये तो हाईवे वाले करेंगे, पुलिस करेंगे. सो इट इज़ बेसिकली a circle going around and around. And we really did not know whom to finally break with. So, it's not a question of apathy or not being sensitive to that issue. ऐसा नहीं है. Everyone understood the importance and significance. पर शुरुआत कहाँ करना है, perhaps was the most difficult part.
क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट में प्रेसिडेंट का बहुत वैल्यू है.
बहुत. The problem is किसी को रूल पता नहीं होता, and a lot of things go by, हाँ ये चल रहा है, चलने दो. Finally we realized with meeting NHI people is that आपको जो परमिशन चाहिए था वो सिर्फ NHI के रास्ते के, because it's national highways, बोर्ड लगाने के लिए जो एक नंबर है, वो उनका रास्ता है, उनका जगह है, तो उसके परमिशन चाहिए उसके लिए.
अच्छा.
उसके अलावा इंडिया में ऐसे कोई कानून नहीं है जो आपको कह सके कि नहीं, आप किसी रोड ट्रैफिक एक्सीडेंट विक्टिम को बचा नहीं सकते हो.
अच्छा.
So it was as simple as that. But then nobody knew it because that is what goes around. It's a police case. Yes, India needs to decriminalize accidents.
Right.
It's going to take some time. But as such, the laws are very clear. They were clear then also. Now you have Good Samaritan guidelines with the Supreme Court. It's made it much easier. But us samay bhi, when we started off, same tha. but किसी को पता नहीं था, clarity नहीं था. So that was perhaps the most difficult part of the work. And it
No,
took us-
but to run ambulances or to have a network of ambulances,
that was
you
easier.
didn't need permission.
No, you do not. You don't.
Oh.
You just needed the permission to put up those boards because that's NHI land.
Okay.
Nothing else. Once we started talking to people, went to bureaucrats, that's what I'm saying. I'm so thankful to the bureaucracy, not only in Gujarat but across. But Gujarat, that is where we started off. That most bureaucrats, 9 out of 10, understood the significance. I mean, a stage came when bureaucrats used to leave Gandhinagar, the state capital, to call up the control room to say, number chal raha hai na? Because they drive at breakneck speed. You know, so that was not a problem. Creating a network, running it, funds came in.
When people see other people who are victims of road accidents, or they see an accident on the road of any kind, people are scared really कि अगर हम इनको लेके जाते हैं या help करते हैं तो हम फंस जाएंगे, despite the fact that there is this guideline, the Good Samaritan guideline.
See, it's because of 2-3 things. एक तो at the lower level of the police functionary,
Right.
the constable or the havaldar, it hasn't percolated.
Right.
I don't know whom to perhaps hold that accountability on, but a common traffic constable doesn't know what the rules are. So that's where it starts. He's still bound by doing that panchnama, accident hai to. So he's wanting to get as many witnesses as possible. So that's the second bottleneck. The third is obviously the myth that goes on कि आपका एक दिन बिगड़ेगा, harassment होगा, आप ही को पहले पकड़ा जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता. होता है. I'm not saying it's a foolproof system, but believe me, out of 100 cases, I have now realized not even 10 cases ऐसा होता है कि आपने अगर एक किसी एक्सीडेंट विक्टिम को ले गए हो हॉस्पिटल, पुलिस हैरेसमेंट होता है. टाइम लगता है. आई नो द हॉस्पिटल अथॉरिटीज वुड से यार पैसा दो उनको, फाइन, दोज आर थिंग्स, बट वो हैरेसमेंट इज अ मिथ. सच नहीं होता है ना. इफ यू रियली वांट टू सेव दिस विक्टिम, यू गो हेड. कुछ नहीं होता.
You were lucky when you had the accident. आप होश में थे.
Yes.
There was no problem. But most people who have an accident tend to be unconscious, or
Yeah, a lot of them do.
yeah. So then, who is the one who can call? Is it possible that even if if I'm on the road and I can't take responsibility for my own compulsions, if I just make the phone call, is that good enough?
It's good enough now. India has this 108 system. The 21 states have it, and at some point of time, I wish, and that's what my next part of this battle across is, that, and I will say a battle because it's a tough one, to get one number, and that's what I've always been advocating. Anyone can call.
Okay.
Anyone means anyone.
So 108 is at the moment not a pan-India number.
21 states have it.
Okay.
So some states, it's a state subject. Health is a state subject. So health. So but anyone can call. There's no restrictions, and no one can tell you that you have to take the patient there. You'll have to stay there till the police comes in or till treatment starts. या उनके relatives आए तब तक आपको रुकना पड़ेगा. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. वो एक myth है.
So what is the kind of myth that is created with accidents?
पुलिस केस है, पहले पुलिस केस करो, फॉर्म भरो. द थिंग दैट वाज शोन इन मुन्ना भाई MBBS. नहीं है. फॉर्म भरना जरूरी है, पर ट्रीटमेंट चालू हो जाता है उसके पहले. सरकारी हॉस्पिटल हो या प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल हो, ट्रीटमेंट तो शुरू हो ही जाता है हर एक जगह पे. आई एम अ डॉक्टर, आई डोंट प्रैक्टिस. आई एम इनटू हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट, बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु सॉर्ट ऑफ when doctors are beaten up, when violence happens in the clinics, because a lot of people say, नहीं यहाँ तो पिक्चर में मैंने ये देखा था. ऐसे थोड़ा ही होता है, but that is how it happens.
That is how it happens. Welcome back. हम बात कर रहे हैं डॉक्टर सुब्रोतो दास से, who is the founder of the Lifeline Foundation. डॉक्टर साहब, ब्रेक में जाने से पहले we were talking about how you studied to be a doctor,
Yes.
but decided not to practice.
How do I put it? I'm the lone child of my parents, and they wanted me to be a doctor. My great grandfather was one of the first medical graduates of India,
Right.
and there have been doctors in the family. So fine, I got marks, and my biology was pretty good, and I went into medicine. Second year, I realized this is not what I want to do. Frankly speaking, nothing wrong with the subject of medicine or something, but I did not want to get stuck in a clinic all my life seeing patients. I realized I had perhaps not to be very arrogant or but yeah, I realized I had perhaps organizational capacities. I was perhaps good at administering things, doing some thankless jobs, and not not just getting there stuck in our room. So I had to break away. But that aside, I realized that I would perhaps be doing better work if I was into administration or something. And during our times, it was very difficult. Once you get into engineering or medicine, you're done. There's no way to break away. You know, today's kids have so many options. So I was a bit stuck there and struggled through medicine, and even worked with Indian Express as a journalist for some time in Baroda, trying to figure out what to do, and then went into hospital management.
This is after you finished your
After
medicine?
my MBBS, you know. So as I said, I mean, the extended family was trying to get me to back into medicine. कुछ नहीं तो एक room ले लो, एक table chair ले लो, practice करो. Fine, दूसरा काम करो, लेकिन practice करो. You wasted a medical seat and a lot of things. And I still remember when the first time the Times of India carried our story on its front page in the Ahmedabad edition. That's where the family and friends of started to back off and say, fine, he's doing good work. And they started saying, fine, if not a cardiologist, if not an orthopedician, highway doctor.
Yeah.
So that's how it caught on.
So you were destined to save lives one way or the other.
I don't know whether to say I believe in destiny or not, but we were Sushmita and we were on an Eisenhower fellowship, and General Colin Powell is the chair of the Eisenhower Fellowship, and he had this lovely thing to say that your destiny is to make your destiny. So I don't know whether there's something called you're destined to do that. I mean, what you do is what you want to do. So
that's quite well said.
Yeah, that's sort of a guru mantra for me, you know. So from tomorrow or today, what I'm doing is because I want to do that.
And you're quite an avid quizzer, aren't you?
I have, and I've been fortunate to have been quizzing with a lot of good people in the country. I've been on Siddharth Bashu's Mastermind. And with Jayant Kriplani on Discover India. So it's been a good journey. I still conduct quizzes.
But coming back to the foundation, because this is where you're together, and it is really a joint passion in a sense, isn't it? Where do you see this going now?
See, I mean, what we have done is over the last 3 years, or 4 years rather, I would say, from just being an organization that rescues people, we have started to be more inclusive in our trauma care. So from there, you know, what our aim is that we need to get rid of something called a bystander effect.
Right.
I don't know if you're aware of it, and I'll try to simplify it. What it says is that the chances of a person being helped is inversely proportional to the number of people standing there.
Right, and especially in today's day and age where everyone just
absolutely
pulls out his mobile phone
that is the worst thing.
It.
So, you know, there was a time when we used to stop, help, then a lot of people stopped helping, but they used to still slow down, pass by. Then a time came when they used to call up somebody and but pass by. Now there's this thing, no, I was there, I need to document it, I need to put it up on the virtual media first.
Right.
So when somebody is dying, we're still photographing. So it's I suppose we're being very violent as far as the virtual media is concerned. You know, the more violent a video, the more perhaps it's passed on. So our aim now is just not to rescue victims, but to go ahead and empower a bystander when he's on the road, or even, you know, even in the studio, if somebody has cardiac arrest, we're trying to empower bystanders to learn CPR, to learn bandaging, to learn splinting, to save bleeding, to stabilize the spine. So our effort now has, if you ask me, it's shifted a lot to getting people to themselves rescue an accident victim or a victim of cardiac arrest or any other eventuality.
Right.
So rather than just being a service provider, we are so much into training, sensitization and awareness now.
And most of the accidents that happen on highways happen at places which are probably far away from cities. So are you doing some kind of training also with, say, villagers? Or?
We are, you know, in fact, what we're doing is we're training villagers, we're training petrol pump attendants, we're training this dhaba workers and the owners. I'll tell you the reason. Again, what we realized is when an accident happens on the road and people in upmarket cars rushing from one place to another don't stop because they don't have the time. More important, that's what people say. But more
is it not having time, or is it apathy?
No, not even apathy. Not having. That's what I'm saying. That's what people say. It's not having time. It's not apathy at all. It's more the fear that I'm in an alien place. If I stop, I'll be harassed. So, okay, I'll be harassed. It's the average villager. Is an average villager or the people standing at a rural bus stand at something called a pan ki dukan who will rush to save these people because they are locals. They're not afraid of the local police or the whatever it is. They know the terrain very well.
And so there is a trust factor.
There is a trust factor. So they go to help. These are the people we are trying to empower.
Okay.
And not to have a gender bias. What we've realized now is we need to empower women, because women are more safety conscious and more health conscious than an average man. Because a man thinks that he's adventurous and he doesn't really percolate it to his children.
Right.
A woman does. So there's a lot of effort now to getting housewives trained, school teachers trained, so that there is this, they pass it on to the younger generation. There's not only the skills, but also the Good Samaritan guidelines and everything. So that's what we are really doing. Training is a big component which was not there 4 years back.
Do you have a kind of a target that by, say, a certain within a certain time period, this is where this thing should spread, or so many people should be trained?
No, we don't have a target. But my son, who's a cell and molecular biologist, and
so he is kind of
following. he's doing this, second generation as they call it, and one of our principal staff member, the two of them have now conceived a project for the city of Baroda.
Okay.
That 40% of adult physically abled literate people will be trained in bystander CPR.
Okay.
The tagline they've given is Vadodara, a smart city, a CPR city. Mr. Modi's government has identified it as one of the 100 smart cities. So they're trying to make it Vadodara smart city, a CPR city. They have got partnerships with the Vadodara Municipal Corporation. They're working with public sector undertakings and getting funding, and that's their aim. So every Sunday they're out training around 200 people in bystander CPR and first aid. So that's a target we have. But on the highways, no, we really don't have a target. We don't usually try to force training. Whoever volunteers, because it has to be a voluntary thing. I need to save a life, so I need to know. You really can't. A lot of places where training has gone wrong is because schools ko target dete, chalo 9th, 10th, 11th ke bachcho ko padhaya jaye. That's forced. Factories mein chalo itne logo ko, ya offices mein itne logo ko. Training for first aid, which is a soft skill, has to be absolutely voluntary, because if you're not willing to absorb it, you will not retain it.
अच्छा, ये प्रोग्राम देख के बहुत से लोग आपका जो ये सेवा भाव है उससे ज़रूर इंस्पायर हो रहे होंगे. If somebody somewhere else in any other part of the country wants to connect and learn from you, can they do that? Absolutely.
In fact, that's I remember a gentleman who was again, as I said, the bureaucracy has been a big help, and he's now the finance secretary, Mr. Asmukh Adhia. And when he was in Gujarat, he had said one thing: don't let your non-profit become so big that it becomes layered like government. So we have got partners in various states, like in West Bengal, where we have worked, trying to give back to the state that we come from. We've got a partner who is still working on this. So we have got partners in Rajasthan, we've got partners. So we as a non-profit is very small. We're just 21 people. But we work in 5-6 states because we've got partnerships done. So if anybody wants to do it, anywhere.
So all they have to do is just connect
with
you?
We'll tell them how to go about it. There's no rocket science as such, but we'll tell them how to go about it. We'll perhaps help them secure funds. That's what we have done to all our partners, given our credibility. So, and then they can start it on their own.
And where can they connect with you?
We are in Baroda, and there's this website we have, emsindia.in, and the contact details are there, and they can always call up. So, and the helplines are obviously the best way to call up. We were one of those projects that was studied when 108 was first conceived by Mr. Ramalinga Raju of Satyam, and he did an immense job creating it. But we work on the highways, and 108 is a state-funded thing. We're not state-funded. But there are lots of people who would love to do, even if there's 108, they love to help victims on the highways, because there's always shortage of ambulances. You might have, God knows how many accidents happen. So our number on the Gujarat highways, for example, is 9825026000. So that's a number they can always call up in Gujarat, and we could contact. They could call, and they could always write to us. As I said, we have a website, emsindia.in.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people will get in touch with you, and thank you so much for being on our program.
It's just been a pleasure. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
If there's any information that you need about Lifeline, you can write in to us as well, or also write in with your suggestions and comments at this email ID, aajsavere@ddkdelhi.org.in. और इसके साथ ही इजाज़त लेते हैं अगली बार तक के लिए. नमस्कार.